Hey guys, how's it going? It's time for my mid-month update on all things board games, Kickstarters, miniature games, all that kind of jazz. Just a plethora of news and updates and stuff for you guys to know about. There's a lot of reveals in this particular video, so I hope you enjoy that. And once again, I'll be kind of mostly talking ad hoc. I have some talking points, a little bit of script, but it's not going to be like the video at the beginning of the month where it's completely scripted. I'm going to be talking pretty ad-lib here. Again, let me know in the comments below whether you like this format for this series of videos, or if you'd like it to mimic more the more structured format of my monthly Kickstarter videos. Starting things out, we're going to talk about Steam Watchers from Mythic Games. It'll be 2 to 6 players, and it'll take about 90 minutes to play for 4 players. This is all according to Leo. Now, in Steam Watchers, as a watcher, that's in air quotes, you lead one of nomadic clans in like a frozen post-apocalyptic setting where you manage the activity of your geothermal farms, because there's like these steam vents that you're trying to gather. I'm imagining kind of a King of the Hill kind of thing. You will have to fight against the other factions in a frantic race for the control of the steam columns. But there will be lots of fighting, because the more columns you control, the more your army is weakened by the effects of the Scourge. And then, therefore, your opponents can actually more easily take that which is yours. This actually reminds me a lot of DEI, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure the gameplay mechanics are different, but the whole frozen post-apocalyptic and then you're having like these nomadic clans fighting against each other. That sounds a lot like DEI from Ludus Magnus Studio, which is actually a game I really enjoyed. It's a very, very fun game. So hopefully Steam Watchers is kind of similar to that. If it is, I consider it a good thing. Now, a big thing here, and you probably already saw this on the thumbnail, but the Madara Pledge Manager is opening for everybody until March 1st. With some new stuff and some Wave 1 stuff. So I'm gonna like talk about that. But first of all, just note that for the new stuff, like the collector stuff and all that, it's while supplies last. So while you have until March 1st, you're gonna want to check it out in the link below as soon as you can. Wave 2 stuff will be available. They'll open the Pledge Manager again, but that'll be later, closer to when Wave 2 is set to release, kind of like they're doing for Wave 1 here. So, what are they doing? They will be releasing chapters 1 and 2 for free on Tabletop Simulator by the end of the month. So this is actually really, really cool, mainly because one of my, tiers on Patreon and, down below through the join button on YouTube members is to actually play board games with you guys. I love doing that. It's a lot of fun. And Tabletop Simulator is a great method for doing that. I actually played Oathsworn with my group last time, and they all loved playing Oathsworn to the fact where they're already wanting to play it again, even though it'd still just be chapter 1 probably. So I'm really glad I was able to do it with them there, and that was a lot of fun. I think playing Madara, maybe chapter 1 and 2 would be kind of cool to do next time. So, I don't know. I'm going to ask them and we'll figure it out. But that kind of stuff is really nice, especially early on. The fact that you can play it on Tabletop Simulator and then decide if you want to back it. Like, I've seen that more and more where there's a Tabletop Simulator version, like, on the Kickstarter. And I think that's great. I think that's really cool. They will also be partnering with Foreteller Games and moving all their audiobook files to that platform, that app. It's going to all be the same stuff. It's all free. It's actually the same app that Gloomhaven is using. And what they said is that this will actually work. So I guess there were some issues with their old one. And so they're going under the Foreteller Games app, and it'll be same old, except better. So why not? There's also a new broken token insert for the first act. The MSRP will be $89.99, and it looks really, really good, as most broken token products do. Now, they will be doing several crossovers, one with Teneris Adventures, that's the Arena of the Contest by Dragori Games Kickstarter, that's right now, again, link down in the description below, and Vampire the Masquerade Chapters, again, link in the description below for that. So they're kind of really spreading the love and working together with these other great campaigns and games, and that's really cool. Now, I don't believe that's a two-way crossover. I believe it's just kind of like what they did with Anti-Trespass Odyssey, where it's their character in the other game versus bringing some of that game into Madara. Also, they are going to be announcing that they will be at Gen Con and Essen this year, which is really cool. They're going to have some cool promo art to show off there. And speaking of which, I will also be at Gen Con this year, which means, yes, I am totally going to force them to talk to me. So we're going to have, I'm going to at least have an interview, a showcase of some kind. We'll talk about all sorts of fun stuff there. If you want to see that kind of stuff, subscribe. Obviously, I'll be doing that during Gen Con. Additionally, if you want to help me actually go there, it's very expensive, and I don't take money from any of these companies I talk to, so I only go there based off of my own wallet and through the help of my wonderful patrons and YouTube members. So again, if you are able to financially help, that's a very costly trip, especially because I need more portable equipment than I have right now. So I'm going to, need batteries for my camera. I only have one and it doesn't work super well. It's stuff like a microphone that isn't tied to my desk, stuff like that. So anyway, if you can, again, there's a join button right down below or a link to my Patreon in the description as well. They have the exact same rewards, lots of fun stuff, hopefully for you, including a crazy Discord and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, just wanted to say they're going to Gen Con. I'm going to Gen Con. Together we form Voltron. They're also going to have the 1.1 print and play files ready and free to download on the website. Download link in the description below. They're going to have a bullet point spark notes for all 5 chapters of the narrative. Also, link in the description below. And they have templates for homebrew content available for free on their website. Link in the description below. Now, for Wave 1 stuff, here's what you can back. You can back the all-in Wave 1 for $240. The art book one for $30, the base game plus the KS1 promo box for $150, the extra dice for $20, just the KS1 promo box, in other words, if you already have the Act 1 box, for $40, 4 playmats, that's all you need, for $40, the 1.1 rulebook for $15, 100 special size sleeve cards, these are the more square version, for $10, and the 1.1 update box for $30. As far as new minis are concerned, they have the Collector, which looks positively menacing, and he looks super cool. I like his design. He's very big and burly. The Murder Advocate, which gives me almost a KDM creepy vibe kind of thing, just because it's a little eerie, like just his shape and the size, and it's just weird. They have a summoner version of Nyx. It looks really good. I love the basing, how she's floating up, and they have like the smoke and stuff like that. Labyrinthosaurus, the bull thing, on Tabletop Simulator as well. So again, more Tabletop Simulator love for you. Maybe I could even do that with my patrons and YouTube members. I'm not sure yet. They'll pick, not me, and we'll just have a good time with it. Either way, that's definitely on the list because that's a fun game. Now, there's another surprise from Into the Unknown as well. Stay tuned for that in just a bit. Hint, it's Kingdoms Forlorn. Okay, so let's talk about just other things that you can get right now. So the Dawn of Madness Pledge Manager opened up. It has some expensive shipping, like every single heavy miniature big box board game Kickstarter as of late. This is the same thing you heard for Bloodborne. It's the same thing you hear for all of these, Joan of Arc. All of these companies are shipping us like 50 pounds of games in these gigantic boxes, and then we're surprised when it costs half $100 to ship. I'm not. I guess you just need to go into it more realistic. And this is actually a good talking point, and I don't know if I should have another video for this or not, but one of the benefits I always think about Kickstarter, first of all, you get like a collector's edition, or maybe you get it sooner, or maybe it's the only way to get it, or maybe you can get it cheaper than MSRP, and oftentimes it still is, right? So they'll be like, hey, it's cheaper, it's like $50 off MSRP, wow, that's great, that's cool, but then you're gonna charge me $50 in shipping, so it's not really any different. Or sometimes, and in fact often, it can be more expensive. Now, often enough, that's still a collector's edition, but it's closer to like a video game collector's edition, right? Where you could get the game at the store for less. Or you could get the Kickstarter version. It's going to cost you more, especially with that shipping, but you get the fancier version. So it just kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting how that's costing so much lately, and, just what that means for why we use Kickstarter. Alright, moving on from that, Modifius is having a huge sale on all their huge big bundles. So you can get up to like €100 off some of their big bundles for like Fallout, Wasteland Warfare, Star Trek, Conan, all that kind of stuff. So if you like tabletop games or pen and paper games, there's a lot of stuff there with some really cool branding. And you can, if you want to go all in on like Fallout, Wasteland Warfare, you can get a ton of stuff. Alright, now things that are coming up. Coming up, we have Conan on February 17th. Again, this is going to be a much more specific and short and to the point campaign that's a lot less grandiose, a lot less big scale and all that kind of stuff. Just focusing on the expanded, if you love the Conan game, this is just more of that. It's just more scenarios, more new minis, no repeats. And they'll also have the King's Pledge stuff as well. And that's what I'm also really looking forward to, because there's a ton of free scenarios online for that, and I'm missing out on it. So I'm hoping to get more Conan, because I've played every single scenario there is. Fantastic game. Really looking forward to it. Expect a day one video of that very soon. Now, also, Storm Sunder, Heirs of Ruin will also be on February 25th. This is by Lazy Squire Games, who did Wild Ascent, and this is going to be big. 300 plus hour campaign if you go all in. 900 pages of the campaign book if you're going all in. Almost 350 plus minis, not including stretch goals, which I already know the first stretch goal is going to be another hero. Joan of Arc scale game is what this is. Like, if you remember Joan of Arc and how it was like, I mean, you could spend $1,000 on that game and get more, a bookshelf worth of game. That's what this is reminding me of. They probably will even have some add-ons, I'm sure, where they're going to keep adding to it. It looks super unique. I already have unboxed some of the minis. I actually have a preview copy of the game. As of this video, you have not seen the video, though I'll probably try to post it early on for my patrons and YouTube members if I can. But I just need to get it edited. But I have unboxed that, and it is the biggest preview copy I have received. And also borderline the nicest. I mean, these minis are very nice. Great scale minis. Beautiful artwork on the boards. All the cards look cool. Super cool RPG. They talk about like Knights of the Old Republic as inspiration. Just some really, really cool stuff here. So expect the unboxing soon, the review of the preview copy soon, and a day one video soon. So lots of stuff. They do have a preview link already ready for the Kickstarter, though it doesn't have everything. Link in the description below to that. Now, this is not a miniatures game, but I know a lot of you play D&D, and I know a lot of you like collecting fancy miniatures. So there's a high fantasy miniature collection by Thrown Down Games, and I must say a lot of these actually look very unique. So the Storyteller, I think, is a fantastic miniature with the like book coming to life. I think that's just really cool. I can imagine like if you took something like a Gandalf, like a wizard, and then actually made them like tell stories, how they would tell it visually. It just seems very cool. So the Storyteller is cool. There's a baker, which is like this elf dude with a pie. I just like him because I've never had to paint a pie on a miniature before, and that seems sweet. And then there's also a dancer, which I think, again, is a very dynamic, pose, but also one that I could really see in a campaign, but you don't see a lot of miniatures like this. So that's very cool too. And I think it's tastefully done, which is also kind of nice. It's not something like too crazy and out there, like a KDM Mini or something like that. So, all in all, these look really cool. Their last campaign, they had busts, 75mm and 35mm. So it'll probably be the same stuff, I'm assuming, and it looked like it was all resin. Also coming up, Wolfenstein the board game by Archon Studios. And yes, the final boss is Mecha Hitler. Now, if you recall, Archon Studios has been doing their Rampart stuff where they have these beautiful plastic scenery. If you know the more recent Warhammer games, the board games, or like, I guess they're skirmish games, where they come with those beautiful terrain plastic pieces. It's like that. They look great. They look awesome. Wolfenstein, the board game, is in their actual board game, is going to start incorporating that. So not only do you have the fancy miniatures they always do, but the game itself is like 3D at this point. I mean, that's just great. And again, Mecha Hitler. Primal the Awakening, that's still scheduled, last I heard, for Q2 2020, but I thought it was worth mentioning again just because I hadn't mentioned it in a while. I don't think anybody's talking about it. I'm not sure if anybody's talked about it since the last time I talked about it. It looks like Monster Hunter, the board game. The miniature design looks super cool. The art that they've shared look interesting, so looking forward to hearing more about that game. Though right now, I know almost nothing about it. Also from Mythic Games, Hell the Last Saga. Now, last I heard, Q2 2020, but considering that we haven't even seen their next game, Steam Watchers, and this is going to be after that, I'm assuming a Q3 at the earliest for this game. Additionally, it's a big scoped game for them. They're saying it's big and that they're going to take the time and release it when it's ready, so I would say at least Q3, though the last I heard from Leo was Q2. It is marked, and I quote, as a survival horror Viking game. Now, all those words thrown together sound amazing to me. Essentially, you're going to be like building a camp and then surviving and then finding out what happened to this first expedition that you're following. And you're going to be doing that through different scenarios throughout a campaign. Now, in the end of this campaign, while it's still mostly co-op, you're gonna have there's gonna be secrets in the story, you're gonna have secret quests and stuff like that, so it's gonna start out as a co-op, but eventually, at the end of the campaign, there's only one player as the winner, so I don't know how competitive it'll get. It sounds very interesting, as an idea. Okay, I promised some Kingdoms Forlorn. Here's some Kingdoms Forlorn. They being Into the Unknown, released another image for Kingdoms Forlorn. And it's like Rainier the Flish Critter. I don't know what he is. Essentially he's got a pig on his waist. He's got antler horns, a gigantic halberd-like thing. I don't know the blade's like the size of him almost. And it's all bloody. I don't know. It's a very interesting tease image. It's not what I expected, I suppose. Mainly because I'll have to check the image again, but I think he has like sausage links on him. He just likes his meat. What can I say? Pig head plus giant bloody blade. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do it. Okay. So there's a few things on Kickstarters too. Marvel United by, Kaman came out. I don't know. It's doing okay on Kickstarter. It looks to me like, I guess, Pretty Minis and a popular IP can sell just about anything. There are more advanced card games for Marvel out right now. It looks to be, and I watched the video, read all the Kickstarter, all that kind of stuff. It looks to be quite a simple filler card game. The difference being that it's not priced as a filler card game, and it takes up way more table space than a filler card game. So it kind of loses its purpose there. So because it has all these miniatures that aren't really doing a whole lot. I mean, you're just playing cards in a circle and every now and then moving a mini left or right. But regardless, it's got a whole bunch of minis. That's going to add not only to the price, but again, I mentioned shipping costs. All of these minis take up a lot of box space and they're heavy. So the shipping cost, just like Bloodborne, just like all these other ones, expect $40+ easily. So add that to whatever game you see on Kickstarter, including this one. So I don't know. It just seems kind of odd. If you want a very, interesting and in-depth Marvel-based pretty art card game, there are much better ones already out there for far cheaper. So this is really just back this if you want the minis. If you really want the chibi minis and the price is worth it for just the minis, go ahead and get it. But I don't know. That's just me. You know me. I'll share what I share, but it just doesn't look super advanced at all. Like it looks like a game I'd play with my kids, except my kids would rather play some dungeon crawler or arena or something like that because I'm raising them right. But anyway, moving on from that, Vorpal Board is also on Kickstarter. This is not a board game. Instead, it lets you play board games with other people. Again, and I'm not trying to push this. It's just, I already have a post out there now on my Patreon and on my, for my YouTube members about this. So it's kind of on my mind about playing a board game with people away from you. But Vorpal Board kind of allows that. And really, you're not backing for the content. So they give you like a thing you can attach to a table to hold your phone, right? And then they give you this little box that you can take a picture of a card in. Sure, whatever. You could buy stuff like that or make something like that just as easily. And it also comes with a pink paper to take pictures of cards. So you could do all of that on your own. So the $50 or $75 or whatever it is, I think it's $75. But it comes with 2 months free to use the app. So $65 for that stuff is whatever. That's not really what the Kickstarter is about. In my mind, it's funding the development and finalization of their software, which looks amazing. Seriously, watch the Kickstarter video on this. Watch a gameplay video of it where they're playing like Gloomhaven or whatever. But the ability to roll dice and interact with cards and zoom in on that, and you take your hand and all that. It's pretty much tabletop simulator, but also with a physical product, which means any board game you have, you can play through this, which is cool. I guess not like a dexterity game where they'd have to interact with physical components, but anything else you should be able to do. So, which means my entire shelf over here to my right, I could play with this, and I wouldn't have to purchase anything else. And that sounds really cool. I'm all for that. So I'll definitely be looking into this more, and we'll let you guys know. But I like the possibility that is. One more thing. Lastly, Batman Season 2 is almost out for delivery thanks to emails from Fun Again Games. They are definitely prepping to actually dispatch it to our homes, which is awesome. Can't wait to get that. Expect the unboxing of that. There's a lot of stuff there very soon. Alright guys, that's it. I ranted long enough. You can let me know if you prefer this or if you prefer a more scripted thing. I can just talk to you guys, and just share my opinions and have a chat with you guys. And speaking of which, I'm sure I'll be in the comments below. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about all this and what you're looking forward to most, whether it's a future game, whether it's a pledge manager or new stuff or old stuff or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you very soon over the next week, talking a lot about Conan and Storm Sunder. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons and YouTube members. They definitely make this all possible, especially the quantity and the quality of video that I'm able to produce. So thank you. And with that, enjoy the rest of your weekend.